Why, hello everyone, and welcome to the Anime Club. Today, Knick-Knack has checked out, and will no longer be with us anymore. Nah, I'm just kidding. We're here for a normal episode. I'm just doing the intro this time around, because Knick-Knack is currently apathetic at the moment.
I really don't understand why.
Oh, I perfectly understand why. It's with the anime that we're covering this week. It's going to be Naruto.
I really don't understand why. I think you guys are making a big deal out of nothing. This is one of the best chunks in Naruto.
I mean, honestly, this was a great one.
Like, respectfully, we started with the absolute banger, right, of Byakugan versus Byakugan, Hinata versus Neji. Then we went into Gaara versus Rock Lee, the most iconic fight in all of Shonen.
Honestly.
And we round this out with Sasuke versus Gaara, as well as getting to see Temari versus Shikamaru, which is possibly one of the greatest fights in the entirety of Naruto before we get to Shippuden. Really, you guys ate. This is as good as it gets.
Man, honestly then, if this is as good as it gets, I'm not sure how I'm going to feel about the rest of the series.
Look, hear me out here. I love Naruto, but it is a universally acknowledged fact that in the entirety of the first series, right, the first 220 episodes, Chūnin exams is the peak. Like, this is the best part. It does not get better. Like, okay, you have your little Sasuke retrieval arc, your little Tsunade retrieval arc. Alright, I get you, those are good. They're not as good as the Chūnin exams.
Honestly, then, this makes me more anticipate to pick up where I finally left off in One Piece than the rest of this show.
I was just saying, were you not entertained by the fights?
They were good. I mean, don't get me wrong, they were good fights. Also, I should introduce everyone. Hello, we have Seki and we have Vorn. Alright, back to my opinion. Anyways. No, because you're currently too apathetic to make a comment, so I don't think you get to be involved in this discussion.
Look, I'm just saying, right? Because we covered an interesting selection of episodes, right? Because I was very disappointed in our last submission that I couldn't get you to Gaara versus Rock Lee, because Gaara versus Rock Lee is one of the most beloved fights in all of original Naruto, right? Like, this is an iconic fight. Because, for all that, Naruto is the main character, part of the conflict between him and Shikamaru is supposed to be that Naruto is, a genius of hard work, while Sasuke is, a genius that was, born a genius, right? But, in reality, Naruto already has, a bunch of shit setting him ahead when it comes to, power level. Truly, Rock Lee is the epitome of, a hard work genius, right? And he's one of the few characters that, he trains and he trains and he trains, and he deserves every inch of, what he gets, right? In terms of, power-ups and, leveling and just being an amazing fucking character, right? And to watch him fight Gaara, right? Somebody who's just, puts him at a disadvantage in every fucking way. That fight was epic.
Yeah, no, it was epic. Honestly, though, I'm not gonna lie. Getting to see Gaara versus Rock Lee, that was an epic-ass fight. Rock Lee was putting 150% into that fight.
Or when he took off his weights?
Yeah.
Oh, that is so iconic. That literally is 1,000 memes have been made of Rock Lee taking off his weights and dropping them. That is iconic. That is what people think of when they think of Naruto, the original series.
Can I disappoint Seki for a minute?
Oh boy.
I will hurt you.
Oh boy.
That moment might be a bit too iconic because I've had that spoiled for me and over and over again. So when it finally happened, I was like, okay.
Well, no, okay, yeah, I understand that, right? I'm sure, I would have been shocked if you had actually been shocked. But let's rewind back to 2011 when I first started watching anime, right? When I first started watching anime, Naruto was the first anime I watched.
You rewinded to 2011 a lot lately.
I know, right?
Just think back. It's 2011. People think the world is going to end in a year. I am watching the first anime I've ever watched. It's Naruto. I am binging this night by night, sometimes 5 to 10 episodes a night, where with my my laptop has a broken screen, so I have it HDMI'd into the screen of the PC that's allowed to be in the living room, right? So I'm watching this like this. I wait for my parents to go to bed. I sneak into the living room, I plug in headphones, and I keep watching it when they're asleep, right? I got to see this with no spoilers. Oh. And here's the thing. That's Naruto, the original series, is not the best thing ever, right? This series has issues. This series has identity problems. This series
doesn't know how to write women.
Also does not know how to write women. There's problems. But, like, even, like, Hinata versus Neji, that's an amazing fight, too.
I was actually going to say, of all the fights, that one's actually probably the one that I thought was, like, my favorite. Actually, I thought the Neji fights in general were universally really good.
Yeah, no, they're amazing fucking fights. They're some of the best ones in the series. So you've got Hinata versus Neji, right? Then you've got Gaara versus Rock Lee. That's a great set of, like, lineups, like,
My
right
favorite
in a row.
Gaara fight is Gaara versus poor suckers in the hallway.
And then, of course, we have, like, the training arc, right? Because after these two fights, then they go into, like, the prep time before the final set of fights where they're going to face one another. Also, this is one of the, you know, back when people still died in Naruto, because, like, characters are actually dying during the Chūnin exams.
I actually have to agree with Seki. And it's mostly because I didn't get spoiled because of you, because I am a hermit. I did actually like the Rock Lee fight, but also I did like the Hinata and Neji fight. The rest of them,
They are, okay, this is literally, this, like, 5 episodes is, like, the 2 most stacked fights in the entire series.
Yeah.
And I tried so hard to get them into the last submission, and I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So I was like, damn, we're gonna come out the gate swinging on this one.
Yeah, honestly, we really did come out swinging.
Look, I will give it to Seki here. It actually might have been to your benefit that we had these fights at the start.
Yeah.
Because it gave me a lot. Because I actually did like. Rock Lee didn't impress me as much because I was spoiled, but that's kind of out of the anime's control. But the Hinata versus Neji fight gave me enough goodwill. Like, gave the series a lot of goodwill from it because I thought it was a really good fight. It's the moment I was like, oh, I'm actually a bit invested here.
Yeah.
And nothing that we watched this time killed that goodwill for me. But I think I would have been a lot more apathetic if I hadn't had that fight at the beginning.
That's fair. And then I will say, like, so we have these couple, like, out the gate really amazing fights, and then we go into a bit of, like, a training arc, right? Because it's like the in between between the preliminary round and the final round, right? And so, like, in this training, you know, Ebisu comes back. We've seen him before when they were dealing with Konohamaru, right? And then Jiraiya, the pervy sage, one of the legendary Sanin.
Naruto trains a tadpole for 3 to 4 episodes.
Yeah, genuinely. But this is where he gets his iconic summoning beasts from. Like, this is, you know, we are setting... With all the incorporation of the new characters from the Chūnin exams, him training with the pervy sage, like getting his frog summons, this is the bones. This is the bones of what Naruto will become in Shippuden.
God.
You know? And then, of course, obviously, we go back to the final round, right? Which we don't finish, but we see a couple episodes of. So we've got the... obviously, Neji versus Naruto fight, right? And Neji has, like, largely not changed, right? Because he won his last fight. Like, Hinata had all these revelations. It was this, like, impactful fight. And it's like, well, at least she's not totally useless, right? But he still thinks that he's the best thing since sliced bread,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Honestly, it's probably the only fight I've had so far where I was actively rooting for Naruto. I'm like, kick his ass.
Oh, yeah. We were all rooting for Naruto here.
And unlike a lot of Naruto fights where it's like, oh, that's an ability I didn't know you had before. You just pulled that out of your ass to win the fight, didn't you? This time I was like, oh, wait. Naruto's gonna get his chakra?
Yeah.
He's gonna get his chakra shut down by Neji, but then we've established already in that training arc that he wants to expend that chakra to get the...
Yep.
And I was like, oh, is that the... Yeah, that's the retro wave. Hell yeah.
Yep. And then, I'm gonna be honest, here's the thing. Obviously, this is me being like, I actually really like Shikamaru's fight with Tamari, right?
It was a funny fight.
Well, yeah, because it's a short fight, right? But it's interesting because, like, obviously they're two very different fighters, and then in the end, even though Shikamaru would have, like, technically almost nominally won, the fact that he gives up because he knows his own limits and isn't really pushed to push through them. Like, he has no motivation, and that's one of, like, his biggest character flaws, right? In, like, the whole series is just his lack of motivation. Right? And that is a continuing issue for him throughout the series, is that, like, obviously he knows his own limits, and he isn't inspired at all to push them, you know? Like, he's smart, he's strong, but he doesn't care to push those limits.
I thought it was a funny fight. The ending was hilarious, but I think what stood out to me most was like that moment with Tamara. You could see it in her face that if this were in a different context and if you were just that tiny bit stronger, she'd have died.
Yeah, no, she would have actually died.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I love seeing moments where characters realize their own mortality finally.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and we finally got another female character with some depth.
Yeah, because, well, so you've got Sakura, Ino, Hinata, Ten, and Tamari, right? Ten got wiped out earlier in the tournament. Sakura and Ino wiped each other out with that big impactful fight that they had, right? Hinata doesn't make it through the preliminaries.
Yeah.
Tamari does, right? But Tamari is different from all the rest. She's from the Sand Village. The Sand Village is tougher, stronger. They actually train their shinobis. Like, she's had to grow up with Gaara, so she's stronger. She's also older, right? So she's a very different female character to bring in. And, like, sure, she's got, like, somewhat of a personality, but, like...
If I can, because as Naruto's biggest detractor of all time, I will actually go out on a limb and try to be a little bit more nuanced with the criticisms of how women are written, because I think they're given plenty of depth in their backstory and motivations. The problem is their characterization is very flat. In scenes themselves, they aren't written very... Like, you can predict Sakura's reaction. You can predict Hinata's reaction.
It's nice of you to go out on a limb for the man who literally said that he doesn't like writing women because he doesn't like how he writes women, and so he just doesn't write strong women.
And you can see it. Yeah. He's not writing bad backstories or like
no, the
motivations.
backstories are fine.
It's
just
their actual like scene-to-scene dialogue and characterization, and that's writing. That's the like the down and dirty of writing women.
Like, here's the thing. I love a lot of the female characters in Naruto, right? Like, Tamari, absolutely love her as a character. Hinata, I think she has the best growth in the entire series. Ino, she's such a bitch. I love her to death, right? Like, totally understand why she's such a bitch. Adore her as a character. I am a die-hard Sakura defender. There are things that are good about Sakura, and I will die defending them. But also, a lot of my love of the female characters from Naruto comes not from Naruto, and this is going to sound really, really bad and really weird, right? But a lot of my love of the female characters from Naruto comes from fan fiction writers taking the backstory and abilities provided by the author and then actually writing good female characters in fan fiction of Naruto, right? Like, because a lot of these characters, Kishimoto's written just enough that we get a vague sort of personality idea. So fan fiction writers tend to be pretty unanimous on how these characters act, but on the whole, they're so much better at writing these women. And I read a lot of fan fiction. We've discussed this before, and so I love reading fan fiction about especially the female characters in Naruto because I feel like it's just providing me stuff that I don't ever get from the manga, you know? It doesn't even have to be a different ending. You could just I've literally read fan fiction where they just rewrite the entirety of Naruto, but writing the women to actually be good characters, you know?
Yeah.
Like, don't change the backstory, don't change their abilities, just write them to be good characters dialogue-wise.
On Kishimoto, I think... it's easy to sit there and laugh at the, haha, he doesn't like to write women. He's a sexist. I think it's a little bit more complicated and tangible than that.
Like, it's not that he doesn't like to write women. It's that he doesn't like how his women come out when he writes them. Like, he doesn't like the way that he writes strong female characters. He doesn't think it's very good. So rather than do that, he would rather just not.
It's easier to cut them out or give them very simple reactions to
exactly.
I think because the way he writes he writes men is similarly, in my opinion, formulaic, but it's probably because he has the actual experience, it's easier because the way he writes men is all of them, almost across the board, have a level of boyishness or immaturity.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's because that's how he knows, probably because that's how he's easiest to write dialogue and in interactions and motivations for him. I don't think he has that crutch for women, and that's his problem.
Yeah. I think it's unfortunate because I think in the anime and I don't think I know. In the anime and the manga, all of the female characters suffer for this,
Mhm.
right? Like, not just the Konoha 11, but there are other female characters, right? Like, there's Kurenai, there's Tsunade. Like, we're going to get introduced to a whole host of other female characters, and they all suffer from largely these same problems. And this will continue through Shippuden, and it's just going to be a problem. So it's just something you kind of have to level with, and if you really like one of the female characters, yeah, you can like them. You just have to be aware of the fact that they're just not going to be written very well or incorporated a lot into the story outside of Sakura, and the only reason she shows up so often is because she is in the main team, right? Because even when you look at like all the other stuff, like often in Shippuden, when they'll make like joint teams or like bring in other characters, it's very often that Kishimoto will bring back the male characters from other teams. Like he'll say, let's have Naruto work with Kiba and Akamaru. Let's have him work with Shino. Let's have I think this is there's an arc later on, right, where the Hokage has them like form a team to like go off on a mission, and the team consists of like Shikamaru, Choji, Naruto, and Neji, and like none of the girls are incorporated onto this team, right? Like at all.
You could also just do your preferred method and just go on AO3 and just look up a full rewrite of it, but they actually characterize the female characters.
I mean, that's not the most awful decision. Like I said, if you like these female characters, that is really your only option, is to just go find a well-written fanfiction, because you're not going to find them written better in the manga. You're not going to find them written better once you get to Shippuden. You're not going to find them written better in Boruto. Like, you're just going to have to go find it yourself, and some fanfiction author out there has written an absolutely stunning story about one of these characters.
I'll just go find something that was written better to begin with.
Honestly, I don't know that he would have, like, I feel like the problem's only apparent because he's kind of trying to incorporate them at all.
Yeah.
Like if you were writing like something like I don't know if you guys have seen like Final Fantasy 15, where all of the main characters are young men growing up like in almost this like brother situation.
Mm-hmm.
He probably wouldn't have the same issues, but that's because he wouldn't be trying.
Yeah, unfortunately there is, he has incorporated a female character into every single team,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like instead of trying to go into Boruto, obviously he's trying to mostly ride on the laurel success of Naruto. He would have been better kind of going into like a boys only like high school type setting.
Well,
I think.
no, hang on, that's not fair, because Kishimoto didn't want to write Boruto.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
Oh,
Kishimoto never wanted to write Boruto. He was basically forced to, and he's actually not the main writer.
Oh, okay.
Wasn't Boruto originally just like a little epilogue chapter?
Yeah, so it was originally called The Seventh Hokage and the Scarlet Spring, and I actually own that book, and it was just a single manga volume.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just supposed to be an epilogue, and then he was basically forced to turn that into an ongoing manga series, and he's not the sole writer on it. There's actually 2 other writers that work on it, and he basically just approves the final ideas as it keeps on going. So Boruto was not his idea.
Oh, it was Shonen Jump, basically.
Yeah. So that's not entirely fair. But I don't blame him for the existence of Boruto, or for the shittiness of Boruto, or for the fact that Boruto has single-handedly skewed the filler percentage of Naruto to be the highest of every single one of the big shonen anime that exist.
Just wondering, why is there the split between Naruto and Naruto Shippuden?
So it's a time skip.
Oh, okay.
Between Naruto and Naruto Shippuden, there's like a 2 or 3 year time skip. So Naruto ends, and then they all go off training to different places, and then they come back in Shippuden and reunite.
Okay.
So like Bleach also has a time skip, One Piece has a time skip, they just don't split the
They
manga.
just don't split the names.
Yeah. But to be fair, I will say, original Naruto and Naruto Shippuden are quite different series in sort of context. I mean, like, obviously this kind of like the nuance of it, but like original Naruto is very much sort of like, for lack of better term, like it's very unguided. It's just following these main 3 characters, and they're kind of just doing whatever they want. Like for example, near the end of Naruto, there's like 60 episodes of filler in a row, right? Whereas Shippuden is very centrally plot focused and dominated and going towards a common end that is sort of like an end of the world situation. And it does actually have a much larger cast of characters that is regularly recurring. Even though we still have obviously like Naruto, Sakura, and like Sasuke are our main characters, right? There are a host of other characters that are shown almost as often at that point.
Mm.
So it is, in a lot of ways, it is just a, the continuation after the time skip. But it's also like
its
its own series
Okay.
per se.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, I will say that I have unfortunately spoiled myself to the ending of Shippuden, so I kind of already know what happens.
I think we all at least know somewhat what's going to happen.
I don't.
Yeah, so we're not going to spoil it for
But we're not going to spoil it.
Because here's the thing, I am going to show you guys some of Shippuden. Not all of it, nowhere near all of it, because it's 500 episodes. But there's a couple of very good arcs in it, I think. Like the opening arc of Shippuden, like the retrieval arc, absolutely stunning. One of the best arcs in the entire series, right? So just something to keep in mind. We will see some of Shippuden. Once I've finished showing you what I want to show you, I'm just going to put it in the hat. And then if it comes out, if it comes out. If it doesn't, it doesn't. You can watch it on your own time if you care, and I know you're not going to want to. I say that because I know that.
I feel like I've given Naruto a little bit more of a shake this time than last time.
Yeah, but you're not going to go and watch the rest of this on your own. Yeah. You would do that even less so with Shippuden.
Wow.
Because while this is 220 episodes, Shippuden is 500. And I will be showing you significantly less of Shippuden than I am of Naruto.
Yeah, honestly, unfortunately, if this is the best of what it's got to offer, it doesn't leave me much hope either.
Well, I mean, like I said, there are 2 more arcs in original Naruto I'm excited to show you. I'm going to be showing you the 2 retrieval arcs, which are pretty much immediately after this. I like both of those arcs. I think they're good. I think they're solid. But collectively, most people agree that the Chūnin exams, which is not technically over yet, will still have some episodes left of it. We still have some stuff happening. Collectively, the Chūnin exams is pretty much the best arc in original Naruto. And like part of that is the Chūnin exams is a huge arc. I mean, we started this around episode like 30, and we're still gonna be in it in episode 70, right? Like this is a long, huge arc. And it's a good arc. I mean, think of the Chūnin exams as a whole. We had the written exam, right? With like the expected spying, with the questions that were almost impossible to answer, the spies put into it, We had the Forest of Death, which was interesting in and of its own right. We've got the preliminaries. We've had the training break. We're going through the finals. Like, it's an interesting test arc. It hasn't been a bad arc. It's been interesting to watch. Because we haven't been watching the same type of thing over and over and over again. We've been watching different things happening, at least.
I would say yes, but also there have been just like a couple episodes where it's like, hey, we're just going to focus on this sole unimportant thing, and that's the whole episode.
Filler. It happens.
I think honestly,
Naruto has some of the most disjointed filler of all the shonens that I've seen. Sometimes they will just show in a random episode that's just unrelated and unimportant. But if you think about just the arc itself, it's a good arc. It's solid. The writing quality is solid. Like, it's interesting. It's different things happening. There's a large cast of characters with varying personalities. It's plot focused. Things are happening. There's progression for all of these characters.
Yeah.
It's solid.
It's solid, and if you look at it as an individual arc basis, but I think what sours it for me, at least overall, is kind of some of the overall flaws. It's not one particular arc. One particular arc can be good. One particular arc can be bad.
Hey man, I think the Zabuza arc was actually fantastic.
You're welcome to your opinion. You're welcome to your own opinion, but not everyone's gonna share your opinion.
I'm just saying.
Look, I'm not hopping in on this. Everyone knows where I stand.
Yeah, but
yeah,
I don't know. I don't really have much else to say. I mean, do we really want to do another waifu wars?
Oh, absolutely, waifu wars.
All right.
Why would we not do waifu wars?
I don't know. I mean, because we have covered this a couple of times already. But yeah, new characters you can introduce. So anyways, waifu wars. Waifu wars. Waifu wars.
Knick-knack.
Hinata? I favorite moment in the series, so I'm going with that.
Yeah.
Lauren?
Mighty Guy, the person who's willing
Mighty
to
Guy.
teach fucking
Yeah.
Honestly, for this arc, I'm going with Rock Lee. He really put an outstanding performance in.
Oh, I'm pulling up the name of the one I like, because hold on a second.
You don't remember this? Oh,
Because he
my.
died
Oh,
in this arc.
okay, yeah.
Was it the guy that like listened in on
Yeah.
planning and got killed?
Yeah.
That one. Okay.
Like, deadass died.
Yeah.
Damn.
People die when they're killed.
Except actually, he died. Because I know his replacement's name. His replacement's name is Raido, but I think, and he's not... Oh, I think it's Genma. It's Genma. His name is Shiranui Genma.
Mm.
Yeah, so Genma.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think we've...
That's the end of the season, guys.
Damn.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, this is the end of the discussion season.
We've filmed 26 episodes
Damn.
this year. That's the end. That's it.
God. Where does the time go?
What season was that we just finished up?
5.
Yeah. Fucking 5 seasons of this.
We've been
anime
doing this
club.
podcast for longer than we were in high school.
Yeah.
I know.
Officially.
Thanks for making me old as shit.
Thanks for making my bones ache with that statement.
Well, just think of this. I just want you to think. From this season, we started this season with Aki-Kan.
God.
We watched The Detective Is Already Dead. We watched Fairy Tale Edalus, Monster Girl Doctor, Carnival Phantasm, Overly Cautious Hero, Eminence in the Shadow, more Fairy Tale, Beastars, Date Alive again.
We didn't do Date Alive twice.
No, I meant we did Date Alive again. Amagami Brilliant Park, 30 Slow Second Life, more Fairy Tale, The Dangers in My Heart, Heaven's Feel, Shikoku no Altair, Yukikaze, more Fairy Tale, Oreshura, Kaguya-sama, Trigun, Hame Fura Season 2, Food Wars, Bunny Drop, Digimon, and now Naruto.
Christ.
I'm gonna go just lay in my grave now. Thank you very much.
It's been a season.
It really has been an eclectic mix and fairy tale.
And
And fairy
Oh my.
God.
Wow.
Come back next season where we're going to have to get a necromancer to raise us all back from the dead.
Next,
Yeah.
by the time this goes up, we'll be closing in on probably an end of season stream,
yeah.
and we'll figure out what the itinerary for that looks like.
Yeah. But, I thank you everyone for watching another season of the Anime Club. I can't believe we're done with season 5.
Half a decade.
I've been doing this since before I could drink, and this makes me want to drink.
5 more years. 5 more years.
Just think, 5 more years and Fairy Tale.
I don't know if I'm gonna do it. I don't know if I can do another 5 years, man.
Will we be on YouTube still?
Who knows? The goal is yes, but that depends.
We shall see as we go along.
Like, comment, subscribe, please. Please.
Please support the channel. The channel might eventually get us into retirement homes.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be nice.
God.